Lesson of the day. Today I want to talk about townships because there's always this talk about, oh, go back to your own community and fix it. Well, a township is not a community. This is what a township is. In South Africa, the term township typically refers to historically segregated residential areas designated for non-white populations during the Apartheid era. These townships, often located on the outskirts of cities, were characterized by limited infrastructure and socio-economic challenges. Today, while townships have transformed since the end of apartheid, they continue to grapple with issues like poverty, unemployment, and inadequate infrastructure. Historical context. Apartheid era segregation. Townships were a direct result of apartheid policies that enforced racist segregation and residential control. Forced relocation. Non-white populations were forcibly relocated to these designated areas, often far from city centers. Limited resources and infrastructure. Townships were characterized by substandard housing, limited access to services like water and sanitation, and a lack of basic infrastructure like paved roads and streetlights. Post-apartheid transformation, differentiated landscapes. While the era of rigid state control is over, townships have become more diverse with a mix of informal settlements, government-built housing, and even some middle-class neighborhoods. Economic activity. Townships have developed a vibrant informal economy with businesses like spaza shops, hair salons, and street vendors playing a crucial role in providing goods and services. Ongoing challenges. Despite these changes, many townships still face challenges such as high unemployment, poverty, and inadequate infrastructure. Okay, community and culture. Townships remain centers of vibrant cultural activity and community life with strong community bonds and a sense of identity. Modern townships, mixed lifestyles. Townships are no longer solely defined by poverty and lack of resources. They are homes to diverse populations with varying levels of income and socioeconomic status. Community well-being. Studies are exploring the connections between housing conditions, infrastructure, and the overall well-being of residents. Economic development. There is a growing focus on supporting the township economy and addressing the challenges faced by small and informal businesses. Tourism. Some townships like Soweto near Johannesburg have become popular tourist destinations, offering insights into South African history and culture. Now, why I say a township is not a community, even reading after all of that, because of what it is based on and how it was founded. So it was founded on segregation. Doesn't matter how it has developed. A township is not a community as far as I'm concerned. But this is just the lesson of what it is, okay? So I always talk about township mentality. Like I say, people who remain in these kind of places, they have this township mentality. People who move out of it, they don't have it. That is why I say we have to dismantle townships. So what is the township mentality? Resilience and survival, because of course they have to put the positive thing, right? A strong sense of community and the ability to adapt and survive in challenging conditions are often associated with this mentality. Okay, there's that. Limited opportunities. The legacy of apartheid and ongoing socio-economic disparities can create a perception of limited opportunities for advancement. Community spirit. Despite the hardships, a strong sense of community and mutual support is often present in townships. Okay? Influence of social issues. High crime rates, gang violence, and the impact of toxic stress can significantly shape the mental health and well-being of individuals growing up in these environments. Mental health challenges. Untreated mental health issues can be linked to poverty and vice versa, creating a cycle of disadvantage. So, the negative impacts of townships outweighs the positive impacts. That is why townships have to be dismantled. Okay, but let's see what are the hopes and aspirations of the township people. Despite the challenges, many residents express a desire for a better future and a belief in the power of hope to drive positive change. Well, it's not going to be a township that's going to make this positive change. Informal systems. Some townships have developed their own informal systems of law and order, which can sometimes clash with official legal systems. So, that is wrong. But that is why townships cannot exist. They should not be allowed to exist in the new South Africa, because it will force people to live above the law. And this is illegal. We cannot be supportive of illegal activities, right? It's important to note the term township mentality can be seen as a generalization and may not accurately reflect the diverse experiences and perspectives of all individuals living in townships. It goes without saying, you don't have to even say that. There is a move to challenge the negative stereotypes associated with townships and to recognize the resilience, creativity, and community spirit of their residents. No. Forget about that. Just dismantle townships and start from scratch. Okay? Right. So, because white people always say, townships are racially exclusive. So, while legally there are no restrictions preventing any race from living in a South African township, historically and currently, townships are predominantly populated by blacks in the black townships, coloreds in the colored townships, Indians in the Indian townships, due to the legacy of apartheid. Okay, so don't get confused. When you say townships are racially exclusive, your mind is still in the apartheid. Come out of your apartheid mindset. Okay? These areas were designated for non-white residents during the apartheid era, and while segregation is no longer legally enforced, socioeconomic factors and historical patterns continue to influence where people live. This, in every country, this way where socioeconomic factors and historical patterns influence where people live, this is just, it happens in every country in the world. But townships are not racially exclusive. Anyone can live there. So the lesson I want you to learn today or to take away from here is that look at why townships exist. Look at the positive of living in a township and the negative of living in a township, and then you weigh between which outweighs the other, whether there's more positive things about townships or more negative things about townships. Then when you take all of that into consideration, maybe think that it is about time that we dismantle townships and reinvent towns. And these towns have to be fully racially inclusive, not by force, but by the way it operates. Because at the moment, townships are still operating on the legacy of apartheid, which is the legacy of segregation, and that's why a lot of people still think that these townships are racially exclusive, which they are not. It's just our mentality, the mentality that was indoctrinated in white and non-whites. That is why whites still think townships are for non-white people, and non-whites who live in those townships are still being oppressed by that type of mentality. So if we dismantle these kind of townships, and I'm not calling communities because that's an insult to the word community. These townships, we have to dismantle them, reinvent our town and residential and just our city structures. And I say we should go with satellite towns and satellite cities. So, task of the day, go and research what a satellite town and satellite city is.